Finding the slope and y-intercept of a line given its equation in the form ax plus by equals c. The form ax plus by equals c is also known as standard form. This is not the form that we are most used to seeing lines. We're most used to seeing lines in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b form. In y equals mx plus b form, the slope is the number right next to the x, and the y-intercept is this number with no variable attached to it. So if you have an equation of a line and it's given in standard form, to find its slope and y-intercept, you're going to want to turn it into slope-intercept form. That's going to mean moving the x's over to the other side and then getting y by itself. Let me start. So I have 5x minus 3y equals negative 15. I need to get y by itself. So to move the x's, I am subtracting 5x. Those will cancel. Negative 3y will come down. I like to draw my x's first, so I'm doing negative 5x minus 15. Note that I cannot combine these together. I can't say this is negative 20x because these are not like terms. You cannot combine negative 15 and negative 5x together. So the negative 15 is right here still. Now, to get y completely by itself, you want to divide by negative 3. When you divide by negative 3, you're dividing everything by negative 3. Every piece gets divided by negative 3. Now we just have y equals negative 5 over negative 3 is positive 5/3 x. Now, you might say to me, well, wouldn't that be 5x over 3? That's true. 5x over 3 is the same thing as 5/3 x, and it's easier to write it like this when we're talking about lines. Here, minus, and then you have a negative down here, so you would be subtracting a negative. That ends up turning to a plus sign. Oops. Plus. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So 5x minus 3y equals negative 15 is the same as y equals 5/3 x plus 5. This guy right here, this number right next to the x, is the slope. This number here is the y-intercept. So the slope is 5/3, and you don't put the x in with the slope. You just put the number. It would be incorrect to say that the slope is 5/3 x. The y-intercept is 5. So there's your y-intercept. There's your slope. And that's that. Let's go ahead and try another. Here we have negative 4x plus 3y equals 2. Once again, we want to get it into y equals mx plus b form. So I'm going to get rid of the x on the left by adding 4x to both sides. The 3y will come down. I cannot combine together 2 and 4x. They are not like terms. So instead I'm just going to do 4x plus 2. And to point out something here, it was a minus sign here because we had a negative 15 to begin with. Here, this was a positive 2, so it becomes plus 2 when we added the 4x. To get y by itself, I'm dividing everything by 3. Unfortunately, nothing is going to really reduce. I'm going to have 4/3 x plus 2/3. This guy right here, the number next to the x, is my slope. The number at the very end is my y-intercept. So slope is 4/3. Y-intercept, and remember with the slope you don't include the x, so it's just 4/3. The y-intercept is 2/3. And that's that. One last one for good measure. 6x plus y equals negative 2. This one's actually not going to be that bad. I want to move the x's over just like I've done. So subtracting 6x. The y can come down. Then you have negative 6x minus 2. You don't have to divide by anything because the y was already just regular y. So this one is ready to be read. The number next to the x is the slope. The number at the very end with no x on it is the y-intercept. So your slope is negative 6, and your y-intercept is negative 2. And there it is. All right, I know you're going to do great on these topics. I know you're doing great in the course right now, and I hope you have a wonderful day.